Hey guys, it's Saru, and I had a chance to play the upcoming open world FPS game known as Elite. Now, if you thought of Battlefield with a little bit of sci-fi, maybe Warframe with a little bit of Attack on Titan, I guess, then this would be the game for you. So if you're interested in the game whatsoever, I'm going to be talking about it, my impressions on it, and my little review on whether or not it's worth picking up once it's released. But of course, things change. We've only played the beta, and a lot of things change in release. So let's get right into it. So when you first start the game, you actually have a tutorial that you're able to do. This will basically kind of teach you the game and pretty much how to play any other game, to be quite frank with you guys. But a lot of things that you'll see and hear from either the AI in the actual game or the text that you'll see around the game itself. So you'll basically learn how to run and then do your grappling hooks, which is where I kind of set Attack on Titan, if you know what I'm talking about, when they kind of like use their little grappling hook things, their gear as they call it. Pretty much the same thing in that sense. So previous to the beta, I actually got to go on the actual game itself, test out some of the features that were available. Of course, the servers weren't open, so I was kind of just in the shooting range. A lot of things weren't working because, well, the game's not necessarily updated. So once the beta did come out, found that I was actually garbage in the game. Once the beta actually did come out, I got to test out the game, and one of my favorite characters, I think, was Wraith. I was playing the character quite a bit, and I found out that essentially you either have like a sniping class that you can shoot out and stuff, or you have your melee weapon, which can deflect bullets. It took a little bit of time for me to get used to it, but I did get used to it. Now, one of the cool features that I did find in this game is that you have a mode of travel, which is your hoverboard, or I guess it depends on what cosmetic you choose. There is a cash shop, which I'll get into afterwards, but with those cash shop items, you can basically have a different type of hoverboard, so you can have a big ball that's flying around or whatever the case. Now, immediately I did kind of see that the game was actually pretty beautiful. We're seeing more and more graphically inclined games now. Did notice one small thing is that when I did play everything on Ultra, although it was okay, the FPS and everything was fine, I did notice I couldn't really use my GeForce experience or a lot of things that needed my GPU because it would pretty much just shut down my entire computer. So if you are thinking about content creation on that sort, unless you have a really powerful PC, it seems, at least for the beta itself, it could have a bit of trouble with the overlay of GeForce and OBS as well. But that could just be a one-off, and it could have been me, maybe some processes were running in the background, you know, it could be a number of things. But just a thing for you guys, I did try this a few times and it did end up crashing on me a couple of times, so just a slight warning at least. So to get a little more in detail in the game, if you go into the armory, you can select the general taunts that you're going to be using in the game. I don't see a lot of people using this, but I'm sure like as the game comes out and people get used to that is probably going to be used quite a bit, as well as graffiti that you can use, which you'll see some common names from previous games such as Citadel Forged with Fire, which is from the same developers as this game actually, so it's really interesting to see. You'll also see the different classes that are available. A lot of players use Pathfinder because it's much easier to play. That's right, I said it. Titan, Wraith, and Tech Ops. Personally, I really found Wraith and Tech Ops to be really fun. Tech Ops mostly because it had a lot of cool effects that you can use. Wraith itself was really cool, especially if you want to disappear into a cloak. It'll be a good way to get away in the middle of combat. Well, other than that, you can also deflect bullets, which is really cool with your off character, which you can see right here in this video. This is all me, by the way. This is all my footage that I was able to record. I wasn't able to record too much because a lot of the GeForce experience stuff was failing quite often, so it took me some time for me to actually go back and record, but what I did record was pretty cool. But other than that, I really enjoyed Tech Ops. I think it was really cool that you can put down a turret, so that could kind of shoot people while you're doing your own thing, and even if you have to defend a little area that needs, well, defending, then you have that availability. Of course, the turret can be destroyed quite often, and you have like a good 30 seconds before you can place another one, and it doesn't mean that it just adds on, you just replace the one that you did have. Cool thing about this class is on the secondary weapon, you can actually heal your teammates if you really get close to them, or if you want to go ahead and repair some turrets or other machinery that are available in the game, you can do so with this weapon. So I find that really cool, and if it doesn't get cooler than that, you can use this weapon specifically that is meant for healing to suck the health out of another opponent. So I found that really interesting. Of course, that doesn't like do like a vampire type of thing in other games, transform into your own health. I thought that would be really cool if that was a thing, but it could be a little OP, and I could see everybody just using that, so still, it was pretty cool. I did find myself using Titan quite a bit at the end of the game. When I started the game, obviously I used Pathfinder quite a bit, and then I went over to Wraith, and I thought Wraith was pretty interesting, especially from a stealth type of point, and also sniping, but I'm pretty terrible at those games. So, and afterwards I kind of went into Tech Black Ops, but I think Titan is pretty much my class, at least for me. You have some really cool abilities. You can jump and go across fields if you really need to, and use your pounce ability to pretty much punch anybody, which resets every 30 seconds or so. So I thought that was really interesting. I really enjoyed that class myself. As for the overall gameplay, so I felt like this was pretty much like Battlefield in a lot of sense. It's not a battle royale. I think a lot of players think that it might be, and I can see why, because originally I thought it would be. We have seen so much of that genre in the last few years and even more recently. So no, it's not a battle royale. It's really just an open world first person shooter that has, I guess, class-based abilities and things of that sort. I don't really know how to explain it. And during the beta, I got to play 2 different modes. One was Control, which pretty much was like domination in Call of Duty, I guess you could say, where pretty much you have your team kind of go from place to place, zone A, B, C, and so on and so forth, to kind of control over the entire environment. And then we had Stomping Grounds, which was basically 2 locations that you could overtake, similar to Control. Around those locations, you can spawn and pretty much just killing the other team and trying to maintain control of a certain section. So pretty similar in aspects. I assume there's going to be way more modes that are going to be coming in. I find it was really cool, the maps and the way they worked. They were really open. I really enjoyed the fact that the grappling hook was on a really short cooldown, so I could basically be swinging like George of the Jungle the entire time. So that was really interesting. I definitely recommend, if anybody gets a chance to play this game, whether there's another beta or not, to try it out. Now, there is a cash shop, and I did mention it briefly previously, but the cash shop is not exactly what you think it is. At least in the beta and what we saw, this could be completely different in the actual game itself, but it's called the black market. And in the black market, essentially you earn a lot of this coin just by doing quests, dailies and weeklies and so on and so forth, and you can buy different type of weapon skins, vehicle skins, and so on and so forth. It's essentially just cosmetic, which I find really cool, that we're kind of straying away from the pay to win aspect. So it's really cool, and I found that really comforting, especially in games where you get to earn your coin and you don't really have to spend money. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be actual cosmetic that you need to spend money for, so it only makes sense. But it's all cosmetic, at least for now. As for whether or not it's worth playing, I'm not entirely sure what to tell you here, other than the fact that I know it's coming for PC. I know they're looking into releasing into consoles. It was really fun. I really enjoyed the beta. I think it's really interesting to see an open world FPS game that's not necessarily Battlefield, but kind of incorporates things like PlanetSide. I felt a really big vibe of PlanetSide 2 from this, as well as a little bit of Warframe when you're kind of using your melee. Additionally, you had a little bit of Call of Duty aspects and definitely some Battlefield aspects. Personally, I think it would be really cool to have some destructibility, so like if you destroy a tree then it explodes. I think it'd be really interesting, like if somebody's like grappling onto a tree and you shoot down the tree, like they basically lose their grip. That would be something interesting for feedback. I think optimization in terms of the gameplay and stuff like that, well, that will come with time. And this was like an early look, like a test phase, so you know, that could be done. As a beta, as what I saw and what I experienced, I thought it was a really fun game. I really enjoyed it. I think it'd be really more fun on consoles myself, but I love the aesthetic of it. I think it was absolutely beautiful in terms of the atmosphere. And though at the beginning the latency issues from the servers were pretty bad, but that's pretty much every single game that first launches, they did resolve this rather quickly, and all the players that were playing didn't really have any issues with that whatsoever. So it's really cool. This game is going to be coming out later this year. You can fight with up to 60 players, so it's rather fun, and I definitely recommend you checking it out on Steam. So if you're interested, you can go and add it to your wish list on Steam so that you'll be the first to know when it does come out. All right guys, I hope that helped you with my review here. I thought it was really cool. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. I think it needs a little bit of work. The replayability was really fun. I got to play this for quite a few hours, so I didn't get to play it for the full 2 days. I did get to play for quite a few hours, so I definitely recommend it once it does come out. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and click that adorable fucking bell to know when I upload a brand new video. And don't forget to come join my Discord if you want to chat and hang out. Much love, and as always, till next time, friends.